Dots on the screen like disco lights, flicker and shine in the heat of the night. I got the moves, I got the groove. Trade the dots and watch me improve. Yeah. Trade the dots, hit the spots, fund the prop, make it pop. Money, money, money. Oh, it's hot. Trade the dots, yeah. Trade the dots. Spin that chart like a DJ wheel, up and down. It's a funky deal. Risk is a dance, it's a balancing act, but I'm moonwalking on this market track. Yeah. Fingers snapping, numbers tapping, groove keep flowing, never napping. Trade the dots, hit the spots, fund the prop, make it pop. Money, money, money. Oh, it's hot. Trade the dots, yeah. Trade the dots. Cashing in, cashing out, shake it, scream and shout. Pockets fat, but I'm staying lean. I'm the king of the trading scene. Yeah. Dots on the screen like disco lights, flicker and shine in the heat of the night. I got the moves, I got the groove. Trade the dots and watch me improve. Yeah. Trade the dots, hit the spots, fund the prop, make it pop. Money, money, money. Oh, it's hot. Trade the dots, yeah. Trade the dots. Spin that chart like a DJ wheel, up and down. It's a funky deal. Risk is a dance, it's a balancing act, but I'm moonwalking on this market track. Yeah. Fingers snapping, numbers tapping, groove keep flowing, never napping. Trade the dots, hit the spots, fund the prop, make it pop. Money, money, money. Oh, it's hot. Trade the dots, yeah. Trade the dots. Cashing in, cashing out, shake it, scream and shout. Pockets fat, but I'm staying lean. I'm the king of the trading scene.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We got a trade setting up as I am watching. 5 seconds left. We're going to short this thing. Okay, sell market. Shorted this and come back at 92. If it comes back up to 97, we'll offer a little bit more out there. Actually offer 4 out there. Modify. Just move this up a little bit. See if we can get this done. Good morning, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope everybody's having a great morning. I had a really, really good day yesterday. I'm going to talk all about dots and proper risk. Show you the new structure. And we'll see if we can hit this thing. It's 92, trying to get it to 88. Let's see if we can hit this this target. Getting close, getting close, getting close. We're done. First trade of the day. Good morning. Good morning. Boom, boom, boom. Hope you guys are having a good day. I had some very cool stuff. So those of you guys, just to let you guys know, this whole week, we're trading Asia. And Asia is a lot of fun. I'm previewing a lot of cool stuff in Asia for our partner called Think Capital. It's a totally different way of trading. I really, really like it. It's kind of a much more leisurely way of trading. So if you're interested in trading more positional trades with dots, you can definitely do it in Asia. And I'm going to talk a lot about those ideas. But for the bread and butter, man, that I've been, hang on a second. Let me get rid of this one. Sorry. I still have a leftover thing. For the bread and butter trades that I've been doing, nothing has been as good as what I showed you yesterday, which is taking trades on the dot. Basically, we get a purple candle, pull away candle, we take those trades against the prior candle high or the prior candle low. That fixed stop variable risk is awesome. And I am working on something that's going to make it even 10 times more awesome in the next iteration of the dots. I almost don't even want to preview it to you right now, but I'm using it myself, and it's really, really useful. The whole idea is the indicator. Well, why don't I show it to you? It's like it's not fair to me to tease it. Let me show you how this is going to work. Again, this is just beta, so you can't really see it, but look what it's showing you. It's telling me that if I trigger this trade, if I take this trade, it's only a 1.4 risk trade against the 5-point stop, right? So what this does is it automatically calculates what would be my risk if I were to take the trade at this present price right now, right? Why that's so valuable is because it's incredibly good at filter. Imagine it shows me a 4R or a 5R. That's a massive candle, right? And a lot of times we take those stupid candles, and most of the time those candles work out. But when they don't work out, it's an incredibly painful loss. It's a much greater loss than it needs to be. So if I'm staring at something like this, right? Something very, very simple like this, which, let's play this. I'll play this on my TradeAway account if this shows up to be a purple, purple continuation dot. Because it's well within my, my control limits. Basically, if I'm within 3R or below, if I'm really within 4R or below, but 3R or below is excellent, I'm able to control my risk super, super well. Okay, 18 seconds left. I'm going to trade off TradingView with you guys on this one into my TradeAway just to show you how that's working. But I'm just beta testing this myself, so it's not ready. So, okay, I'm in the trade. The stop goes above this one over here, right? And target is over here. Let's see if we can make target. And if this comes back up like somewhere around here, unfortunately, just on TradingView, I can't do a limit order because I don't really have it well down. But I will average up over here against this move if it comes back against me, because again, my risks are very, very small on this particular position, right? So let's see if this. Let's see if this comes in for me or not. Where am I in? So what am I in? It's 84. I want to be at like 89 if it comes down. Let's see if we get it. This is like a fourth purple candle down. So it certainly can retrace against me. But the point being is, look how useful it is to be able to have the risk parameter organically generated for you. So that at least you know what your risk parameters are in all of this. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to move this up a little bit, just because this is already long in the tooth. I want to see if I could try to get this resolved a little bit faster. And come on. Damn it. All right, and let's screw it. All right, I'm out of this. I don't want to be in this trade anymore because it's taking this long time to resolve. But the point being is, had I taken it here, I had the really good risk profile. This is still probably going to work. I had a really, really good risk profile to be able to take all these trades. My rule of thumb is I don't want to take any more than 3 purples or 3 whites in a row. So this is already a very, very exhausted move. Just, you know, from this perspective, if there's going to be a fresh move down, I'll take it. But it's really, really cool in terms of like giving me the read on the ideas. And you can see, you know, how well that creates the stuff. So it's very cool. It's going to be a next new piece on dots, and just trading it this way. I mean, the single greatest element of why this just radically changes your P&L, like, you know, turns your P&L into a very, very smooth day trading structure instead of like having these massive volatility swings, is because it just keeps you from taking like a 3-4 hour trade. You know, even if the candle is good, you just go, oh, I don't give a shit, because there's going to be like 10 other candles after this in an hour with better risk reward parameters. You know, before we just never had that kind of instant granularity on the charts, and it's really, really useful. In fact, you know, I would say 90% of like the stuff that's in the table that I have in here is at this point not even material, and I'm probably going to pare down the indicator and get rid of a lot of the volatility elements in here, because the only real volatility element that we need to know is we're going to take what is our risk relative to our reward, how big of a stretch do we want to take it, and the rule of thumb is you want to stay underneath 4 to 1 as much as possible, and having the natural stops, having the stop be, you know, on the candle prior, like 90% of trades that are good will never trigger it. And of course, 100% of the trades that are bad will trigger it. Maybe 10% of the trades that are good will false trigger it. But like literally, if you can isolate your pool of candidates to like 90% of good quality trades, you're already well ahead of the game. The purple candles, anytime we have a purple candle, we take it, it's a sell for us, right? A purple candle is what's called a pull away candle. It has two components. It doesn't touch the moving average. It's pulled away from the moving average, and it's ended up on lower lows. So it's creating a dot and a pull away. Same thing with a white. It pulls away from the moving average, and it's creating a higher high, right? Those are the juiciest, best ones. The best ones are the ones at the start of a trend slice. So this is a new trend slice over here, right? And this is the first one here. This is a new trend slice over here, and this is the first one here. Those are always the best in terms of probability, right? To trade. You can see it over here too. Here's a trend slice, right? Here's a trend slice, new trend slice. This is the first pull away candle. This would be the stop right over here underneath this thing here. You might get clipped out. Like this is just simply bad luck. If you didn't give yourself one extra point underneath, you might get clipped out over here. But then, if you did, you could resume the whole idea here, the next pull away candle with the stop over here, and boom, repair and renew. Same thing over here. First trend slice over here. This is the first pull away candle. Your stop would be actually underneath here. This would be your lowest stop. Again, boom, right? Just over and over and over again, as long as you follow the basic laws of physics of trend, which is higher highs lead to higher highs, and they don't. And in trend, lower lows don't violate the lower lows. You are almost always on the side of profit, which is really, really cool. I don't really want to explain the yellow triangles because I'm going to get rid of them, guys. They're more confusing than they are. They're supposed to be volatility triangles of like big candles, but it's going to be completely unnecessary once I bring in this whole R element, because the R will tell you the volatility. If it's 10R, right? If I have a $5 target and the candle is 50 points against me, that's a 10R trade. Do you want to take a 10R trade? I don't want to take a 10R trade. So the R is going to have the volatility in there. So that's I'm going to pare down. I think the huge amount of stuff that we have in the table was sort of preliminary, early work that's not of any immediate use to. What's really of immediate use to us is, do we have a signal to want to take the trade, right? That's really the only thing the indicator wants to. I want the indicator to tell me, do I have a signal? Do I want to? But the answer is yes. Then the second question is, do I want to take that trade, right? Answer yes to both, yeah. If the answer yes to one, no to the other one, no. That's it. Let's not get too complicated. Let's not waste our time trying to do too much. It becomes very, very binary. 9:15. So we kind of have it's quiet on the. Let's switch to gold now. Just how can I switch to gold? What's going on over here? Oh, I know why. Okay, let me get out of here. Okay, let's switch to gold. All right, gold is actually looking pretty good. So gold is totally tradable right now. Gold, we have to just simply reconfigure our structures, because for gold, if I'm trading 5 for NASDAQ, I want to trade just 1 for gold, right? And again, here I can go, looking back onto into my trading view structure, and hang on, let me just reconfigure it, and we'll trade gold for. I want to make sure that. So for gold, I'm just going to do 10 points fixed. Figure out my R's this way. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So if I'm trading it for $1, I'm gonna just trade it for $1 with a 4. So it's gonna be 10 ticks, 40 ticks. Oops. And if it's 4R or worse, then I'm not going to take it. But in this particular case, like let's say if you took this white candle, right, 43.2 against 44.2, and it would have totally made the dollar point here on this move. Now I don't have any trades, but let's stay with gold for the next 15 minutes, because we're not going to do anything in NASDAQ anyways until the market opens. See if we have any possibilities. But here, there's a good example. You went long here, dollar extended. You went long here, dollar extended. Your risk here was probably 39, 36 was a little bit less than 4. So you would easily take in this trade. So it makes, it really helps you. It gives you the instant information you need to make a quick decision in the heat of the battle. Good morning, everybody. Who's new in the room? Who's coming in? People are just coming in right now. I wonder if I'm gonna see how this looks. If I do wide, no, I want to do tall. No, I want to do regular. Okay. StreamYard has all these new little functionalities for us to play around with. So one thing that, by the way, that's here in gold, that's totally tradable. I wasn't watching. When we get the pink dot against the green candle, that's always, Santiago is in the room. That is always the perfect buy, right? Because what's happening over here in this particular dot, you have a sell-off into a positive trend, It's always a good opportunity to buy this. The only problem is that how would you set a stop here? What would be your stop? I guess it would be 2 candles prior lows. I guess I would put the stop over here, as far as thing. Regardless, right now we have actually a real non-retrace trade, a momentum trade coming up here. White dot against this white dot over here. If there's a white dot here against this white dot over here. So if this white dot holds, we are going to take this trade to the upside. It's a 2.5 R risk, so it's a very, very legitimate risk for us. on a one basis. 11 seconds left. 7 seconds left. All right, we're going to get long here. The stop is going to be, oh, just went away. Oh, the white dot went away at the last second. I got faked out. Damn it. All right, now we're just going to simply stay in this trade just for shits and giggles. That sucks. Yeah, I got faked out on this trade. I should have waited patiently on this thing, but I just wanted to jump in because I was so eager to show you. You know what? Let's average in here. Let's see if we can get out of the trade. No. If not, I'll get blown out. Gee, what a surprise! I started gold trade and I get killed in it the moment I started. That's fine. I get faked out on gold. Yep, I'm out. All right, fuck it. We'll look for the next opportunity, but gold is always, fucks me royally. Rules. I know you're right. But I'm just trying to. The thing is, when I'm trading live, I'm always trying to show you the setup, and of course, I'm always rushing because I want you. I want to see the setup happen. Let's see if we get a pull away candle or anything else in gold that that makes our life easier. So like another thought is, you could say, oh, maybe I should just trade this red dot because it's a lower red dot. But on the side here, right, if it comes up here, it's a 3R trade. That's actually not a bad trade. But as it comes down to the low end of it, that's a bad trade. So we'll see. I'm not going to trade it right now. Ten minutes to the market open. We'll switch around to that. Yeah, gold and Q are two very much different animals. Yes, like this would have been actually a great entry, average, resolve, which I would have done on this, but it got a little bit too much of a risk. Market's pretty quiet, pretty choppy. 5 minutes to the open. Let's see what it wants to do. Anything on the calendar today? I don't think so, right? Waller, nobody's doing anything. It's kind of quiet. Is the shutdown going to be over today? Are they going to vote on it in the House? I think it's going to be close, right? All right, we got nothing going on. We're just waiting patiently to see what develops here on the dot level. All right, purple trade. If this holds, that'll give us a signal. Gold is really choppy. Five minutes to the open. This looks like it might want to go higher. If this gives us a white dot, there's definitely going to be a higher white dot than this one. See that? It's a 3R risk. Wow. Total fake out on both ends. Look at that. This is like an interesting example where the buyers, neither the buyers nor the sellers can control the flow of trade. Four more minutes to the open. Oh, guys, I meant to. Oh, great question. Because the prices are just a tiny bit different. Okay, I mean, we have this conversation all the time. It's not a perfect correlation. It's like a 99.9%. Sometimes the highs on the micro will be a little different from the highs on the mini. So you are going to get variance, especially the shorter the time frame, the more variance you're going to get. So that always happens. Here, I wanted to put the link in. Don't forget the master class tomorrow for everybody who's new, who's in the room, who wants to come hang out with us. Totally free. So please come join us. Three minutes to the open. All right, are we pulling down? Gold definitely looking like it has a little bit of a drift down, right? You basically have a slope all the way down. All the dots are coming down here. All right, we'll see. If this white dot holds, we're going to go long because that's a signal for us. Minute 15. We're going to try not to get faked out. Make sure that it really holds the bid here. Are we having an early start in the Black Friday sale? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You're reading my mind. Yeah, the white dot goes away. 52 seconds, 51 seconds. Let's see. Let's see, let's see, let's see. No, we can't hold it. Look at this. This is like, how many minutes? 10 minutes? It's really 15 minutes since we started. Gold has literally not been able to hold direction in one direction or the other. All right, 9:30 on the open. No, 10 more seconds to the open. Let's see if they want to do anything. Let's take a look at what NASDAQ is doing on the open, if it's going to have any movement. Oh, starting to move down. But so is gold. Gold is moving down. NASDAQ has got that huge, huge candle, so we're going to ignore that. It's going to be a big risk. Gold like dipped and ripped. Wow. All right. See, NASDAQ is a big trade, and if we were using the stops, it'd be like 87 against 47. It'd be like a 10x risk for us, and we really don't want to do that. Now, this over here, gold is like a 5x risk for us, which is big. But you know what? Oh, no, it doesn't even give us the trade. Let's go. You know what? I don't care. Let's go for it. But no. And NASDAQ is really dropping on the open. All right, gold. This is literally the worst price action in gold I've seen in a long, long time. Just zero directionality. NASDAQ is just crushing. Look at NASDAQ, just, that is a 80-point trade to the downside. This is a 32R risk. It would have worked if you just sold it because, you just had momentum. But like, again, it's a good example of why you don't want to, it just keeps you out of doing stupid things. All right, here's gold. This is still a huge risk, by the way. The risk would be all the way up to the top button over here. So also not a trade for us. But not even a signal. Wow. All right. Okay, gold is starting to show a purple move here. But it's a 6R trade. From here to here, it's 6R. So we're going to do it just for shits and giggles. I'm going to average into it with small. So the other thing I was going to say is when you have like a large R trade, you can always come down on size and do really, really small size and just, widen out the gaps, which is what I'm going to do right now. 25 seconds left. All right, I'm going to come in here. I might stop over here, all the way out here. And it got done. See, I mean, I knew it was going to, when you have that kind of, a power move, it got done very, very fast. So you want to trade, again, if you want to do small size, I can come in on the small size here against this very large buy stop and see if I can get myself done again. 33.8, and it's done again. And that's like the great thing about watching volatility. If the volatility is huge, you can just, let's say your regular size is 4, you just go to size 1, right? I'm still at 6R because now the stop goes over here. If this candle stays, the stop goes over here. It's still like a 6R, 5R trade. So still, 1/4, 1/3 the regular size. Yeah, we made it. You can see I made all those cells on gold. Let me find this. See, short here, short here, short here. All of that worked really nicely on the moves. Now popping back up. And now we can turn our attention to NASDAQ and see what it's doing, like whether it's, going to start providing a little bit of signals either the other way or, back on a retrace when it comes back out. So another fun thing to do, which we'll do just because, there's nothing else to do here. If you guys just want to, the whole idea of like trying to understand how to work with dynamic of the dots is if we have in the next candle no fresh lows, right? It hasn't made a fresh low, then we can use this fresh low as our reference point and try to see if we can scalp the other way on NASDAQ. The problem is I'm on the wrong tick strategy. So let's see if we can make we can make 5 against guess about it's not a dot trade. It's just there's nothing else to do here because we had such a big fallout. But if this does make fresh lows, then obviously that whole consideration is out the window. Making fresh lows. Now we actually have a legitimate sell signal for us with with this stop over here. Let's see how much of a risk that was. Nah, it went away, unfortunately. I'm just gonna fuck around and buy this. because I've seen this pattern so many times. And see, that was a nice, clean, easy resolve for a quick scalp. The reason why I bought this is because you see, it really didn't make fresh lows. It equaled the fresh lows and then bounced back up. Couldn't make any fresh highs. Couldn't make any fresh lows. So all right, I'll scalp it for a little bit using that as a reference point. If the trade holds for another candle, we can scalp it again a little bit more. The whole idea of like using the chart reference points really just opens up lots of possibilities for you, especially if you're mindful of size and risk. You understand where the risks are. This was like only basically a 2R risk, trade, so it wasn't a big risk trade, but still, you're trading small size. You could just scalp it the other way nicely. $53 seconds left. Again, this is the bottom. This kind of holds. The trade would be like, let's get long, and then if it comes back against us, average in, hold the bottom, see if we can scalp around it. It's not a dot trade, but it's the same spirit as the idea. Yeah, the big oversized candles do retrace a lot, but sometimes they just run away. I mean, the thing about big candles is when they run away, you really don't want to be in their wake. That's why I'm always watching the lows. All right, see, now it's testing lows. But kind of holding it. All right, I'm long here against this stop over here. If it comes back down, it's 83. I'll be a buyer at like 78 if I need be to average in, but I'm done. I'm done again. So let me cancel all. And another, just a quick scalp. But I'm doing it in very small size because I'm very mindful of the fact that, yeah, this is just, a lot of vol against me. And it's just a way of like flipping the whole dots idea on its head, right? Because again, we're watching highs, we're watching lows, and this allows you to, to just have fun. I mean, like, look at this. It's been 10 minutes, and we had 3 positive trades, right? 1, 2, 3, right inside here. That worked really, really nicely. I think if I go on a 1-minute chart, you can see that. You can really see it over here much better, right? I thought I had 3. Maybe I had 2. Could have sworn maybe it's hard to see. Anyways, all right. Let me not fool around here. Let me go to two minutes and get rid of the. Oh, and now it's making fresh lows. It's breaking down. Let me get rid of history. And this is a massive. You know how much of a risk this is on my chart? It's a 17R risk. It's huge. Like even at small size, this is just too big a risk. So this thing just dropped. Basically 100 points. I need 100 points of risk in order to make this trade happen. So would I do this trade? No. In the old days, I would do this trade and I would say, oh, it's a big power move. Let's do it. But then you're going to get trapped. The point is that you don't need to take these huge ass candles, right? Let me show you. Well, trust me on this. There was a 16R risk, just a really, really big risk. And yes, and when it's that big a risk, does it work a lot of times? Yes, but then it also works against you a lot of times, and you really don't need that. So it's better to have find the spots where you have smaller risk. You guys understand what I'm saying? Like even this right now. Here, I'll bring my analytics here. You guys can see it, right? Can you see this? Yeah. You see how this was it's a 17, 18 risk. See, 18 risk, huge. Because if you're gonna get short, you got to put a stop all the way out here. If you're short at 45, your stop is at like 95. You got a $50 risk. Oh, I know. It's not even. Sorry. Okay, this is a little bit wrong. It's not a 17 risk. It is actually an 8 risk, but it's still a big risk because I had a gold setting on that. See, 8 risk. It's still a big risk. 8 you know, actually could have been tradable, I guess, on a single contract basis. But, you know, it just gives you very, very good information on what's going on. All right, now we're going to play the same game again. Made fresh lows. Let's see if this is the near term low for this whole big move. We're going to find a little bit of consolidation. Yeah, that's exactly a risk. The great advantage we have of trading is that sorry guys, just want to put this up. Are you guys telling me that it's a little blurry? I see myself. I think it's all the dots are pretty clear. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. A little blurry, but I think it's okay. It's not, you know, not much I can do. All right, let me show you how I'm going to annotate this thing just to understand. So this is the low, right? We're failing to make a fresh low right now. We're going to fail a fresh leg low. Maybe we can take the thing. But now we make a fresh low. So that whole idea goes out the window, or at least matches it. Now we actually have a momentum trade with a stop. The stop would be like right over here. So it's not a big risk for a stop if this is where we're at. So I'll tell you what the ratios are if it comes down. Right, you can just wait and not take the bait. Exactly. All right, 58 seconds left. This is showing me, how much of a risk is it? It keeps going away. So this is the first 15 minutes. Everybody puked their positions. Now we're going to see if they want to hold the bid or they're going to try to sell further. For us, we got nothing to do. We're just going to watch the wicks for a little bit. Because as you can see here, there's not, you know, nobody's made any bottom yet. This is still the lowest low right now. All right, does this candle hold? If this candle holds, this is the reference low, right? And that's what we can trade against if this candle holds. And it doesn't. That means we actually have a signal. Wow. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's like a 9-11R signal. Wow, 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 wow. Another big drop. But we can trade this with small size if you want now. It's really large. 12R signal is just huge. See, let me show you. This is showing you a 12R signal, right? 11R signal. You guys see that? Really, really just a big ass risk for us. Wow. The hardest part is knowing that you have a really strong possibility you're going to make money on this one, but knowing that it's a stupid trade to take. Like that's actually the hardest trade. The hardest trade is when you know you have a lot of confidence that's going to work, but you know that the risk reward is just so horrible that if it doesn't work, you're going to regret it for the rest of the day, or regret it for like the rest of the week. You know. All right, now we're going to see if we can try to trade the turn the other way. Oh, you can see it if you have the magnifier glass on it. All right, next time I'll put the magnifier glass on it. But we can put the magnifier glass on this, and you guys can see that it hasn't made a fresh low, right? So can this hold the lows? That's the key thing. Nope, it doesn't. We're breaking to fresh lows. So here's, if you want to see risk, what I was talking about, look at the big risk. Here's the magnifying glass. You see that? It's a 14-hour risk. Really, really big risk. Because the stop has got to be against the skin. Now, is that going to work? It's going to work most of the time. But that's still a huge risk that you don't want to take. So I'm just staying patient with this and letting it play itself out. Yeah, it's a good statement, Rick. Did you see? Did you see what I showed you, Ben, on the chart there? Oops. All right. We are down almost. They sold off like relentlessly from 787 to 577. So almost 200 point down. Okay. Maybe we're bottoming. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to assume this is a bottom. And look at that. Look how fast the scalp that was. That was I'll tell you why I assumed it was a bottom. Because you see how it just tested the bottom a little bit over here, and it really didn't make any fresh lows after like a triple purple thing. At that point, they just made it very, very easy to kind of just take a small clip and take it. I know I'm not trading dots today, but like the dots are just, the whole point is that the dots are too big. And although they give really great signals, it's a stupid trade to make. Like as tempting as it is, it's kind of a stupid trade to make to do this. So looking at this like right now, in the magnifying glass, you're effectively at the bottom here. Those are bottom trades. I want to buy it again. Yeah, I want to buy it again. I'll trade against this. See if I can resolve it again. I'm at 90. If I'm coming in at like 85, I'll buy another at 85 for and I'm done anyways. So another one that resolves nicely. So yeah, you see me being patient, and it's hard because you see such obvious momentum trades, but when you have these obvious momentum trades with such high risk, the low risk trade is actually on the other side, right? Again, let me show it to you here on history. All of these are all low risk buys, low risk buys, low risk buys, buy, scalping it out. Yeah, I hit the daily low. And now you kind of have to be patient because now you really, you could take one more turn trade because it's relatively clearly defined here to the upside. But generally now we really want to see where the dots are going to be coming up. You know, what's the next big up? Because now we're kind of consolidating, and maybe the next wave, we're going to get a counter trend wave here. Obviously, this white dot is not a trade because it's coming off the lows, so that's not a trade. But if we rally back up and then do a purple dot, that's going to be a good sell trade. The whole point is, like, I hope you guys are seeing it. That you have a very easy, organic feel of what's going to work, what's not going to work. You have a clean, clear, I had a clean, clear definition. Okay, this is the bottom. If I'm wrong, that's where I'm going to be out. But if I'm not, then it's going to be easy, an easy pop to the other side, right? And scalping it that way really, really worked. Let me just take a look at what's gold doing. I think just to see if gold is doing anything interesting. Gold actually had a clean, clear, white dot trade here that would have worked nicely. We just haven't, we haven't had anything. So let's see if we get a white candle move here on gold. I'm going to adjust my stops and targets. What's the high on gold today? Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the London high was. Is this the London high, the 46? It looks like that's what it is. Let's see if it wants to go higher. You know what? Let's go back to MNQ. So we have a fresh decline. This is a big risk. This is actually a 10R risk, just to let you know. So why is it a 10R risk? Because it's a 12 against 66, a 50, 60 point candle, right? So again, not going to take it. I'm just, tempted as I am, I'm not going to take it. But, we're back in the game. Let's see if this is going to be a bottoming structure, a topping structure. Let's give us a chance. Let's give it a chance to see what it wants to do. Kind of tested the bottom and held. All right, I'm going to just get long here just for shits and giggles. Again, I'm underneath the lows here. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it might not work. I'm a little bit premature on this, I think. This was a little bit of a premature trade. That's fine. Trying to get big so you guys can actually see the price action. I bought it too high. Should have bought it over here. All right, buy this. This is my entry. Get me out of here, and I'm out, and I'm all out. And I was able to repair this as I was watching the bottom because it didn't quite test it. It was a little bit of a stupid trade, but watching it at this really, really large zoom in, you guys can really see it. So again, see the price action is against the bottom. Are they going to test the lows? Maybe. I'm certainly not going to come back into it until the candle closes. Let's see what it wants to do. But I did manage to get myself out of here. So could we have made money on this purple? Yes, but look at the retrace on this purple. You came in, if you sold here 71, you faced like a 15 to 20 point retrace on this. Yes, and your actual retrace was like a 50 point retrace, logical retrace, right? Okay, now we're going to go buy. Chasing it. Sorry, I'm talking and I'm not paying attention. See, we did the little test and we came back up. Now I fucked up my entry. Sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. I'll try to buy again. Can I resolve myself? And I resolve myself again. All right. So it really helps to trade small because then you can be stupid, right? Again, you saw me. I just sort of, I was using this as a reference point. I gave myself a blended move, and then and I gave myself. I think this is like the 10th or 11th scalp that I made today with you guys, against trend, against dots, against everything that we sort of stand for, but within intelligence, and it all, and it makes sense. Now, by the way, could you have traded this large? Yes. Was this going to, if you wanted to trade this for like a big pop, could you have done it? Yes. That's not my kind of trade because I'm trading, as I said, I'm trading for fixed targets, variable stops, but reasonable variable stops. That's the whole idea, right? There's always a trade-off. I'm going to get a lot of my trades done, but I'm just not going to be the guy that, there's a guy out there who's got the patience and the ability to buy here and is going to sell 50 points up or 60 points up. Great. If that's your personality, Zai Gesund, the technique is the same. It's just that, my personality isn't going to execute that technique. But I made like, 9, 10, 5s. So I made like 45 points in NASDAQ just by, taking morsels off the table, just by pickpocketing the market. Okay, so now we turn up with a white dot, but clearly this is a much lower white dot than we've had before. So it's not a signal. It's actually not that much lower. This is a white dot. This is a white dot. So the next white dot would be a buy signal for us, would be a legitimate buy signal for us, right? Because it would be a higher white dot, and we could use that on the charts as a trade. NASDAQ is back to being fun, right? NASDAQ is back to being the fun scalp instrument that it is to help us trade and make ideas. So as I said, today we could have taken all the momentum trades and won, but let's imagine, I don't know, let's imagine that this didn't win. This trade did not extend. Would have been just eating so much losses on the other side because the volatility and momentum was just so large today. And instead, we just basically pickpocketed, points over here when the price action stalled. And now we're clearly, having a turn. How many times have we seen this in the first half hour of New York trade? Literally 9 out of 10 days, right? And this is a good way for us to put all of that knowledge into profit by basically learning how to scalp against trend with reasonable, intelligent reference points. So, if you want to trade this dot, just to let you know, that's an 11R dot, 10, 11R dot, meaning your natural stop has to be underneath the white dot. You're looking for 5 points. That's a lot of risk on the table, right? Do you want to take it? No. There's just better trades coming up. Will it work? I'm almost certain it will. Like just for shits and giggles, let's imagine I'm long here at 23. My stop is all the way underneath 67. And I'm looking for 5. Will it work? We'll see. But the point is, I'm not in the trade because the indicator is smart enough to tell me, no, that's a massive risk. You shouldn't take it. It's a huge improvement, right, guys? It's like a huge improvement in execution. Instead of doing like 10 good trades and 1 stupid trade, you just keep doing 11 good trades. But, is this going to pop? I'm pretty confident it will pop. But you can't be trading it for 5. You got to be trading this for 50 because you got to be trading this for the turn for the day. And that's just not my trade. I don't trade that kind of a long trade. But there are guys in the room that are easily going to take this and trade it for a turn of the day. And if they're right, this could be a 100-point move to the upside. Just one contract can give you $2,000 on the mini side. if you're that kind of, if you're that kind of positional trade. That's where the dots are so good. They can make you positional, they can make you scalpy, whatever you want to do. Oh man, I ran out of my 7th espresso already. Am I gonna have to go off camera to go make myself some more espresso? You know why? Because it was so much scalping. I was so in the zone. I burnt through my coffee in like the first 10 minutes. So what do we say? We said 23. So if this thing goes 28, I'm right. But again, I'm right against a massively too large a risk. $27. We're probably going to go this 28. It just offered 28. So yes, could we have done it? We could have done it. Now we got the white dot, right? And now this could be a much more reasonable, rational trade. We'll see. Like if this candle is relatively small, like if this candle is within 5R, it could be because the trade would be to get long here with a stop underneath here, right? With a stop underneath here. This would be your stop. So it's not exorbitantly expensive to try to find out if this trade is going to work. But it's got to, first of all, it's got to be a white pull away. We're sort of consolidating. But look, from the bottom, when we were fishing on the bottom, 61, this went all the way out to like 40. That was, wow, that's an 80-point move. Look at that, 80-point move in the last 40 minutes. That's nice, right? Why is my account's volume increasing but drawdown is decreasing? I don't know. Talk to Apex. I never look at any of it. I mean, I'll just look at target. The whole point is you should never be worried about drawdown if you're trading small like I am right now. Okay, so another interesting thing that's going on over here. Ooh, this is, I'm going to probably regret this, but remember I said to you, this is really, really cool. I said we didn't quite get it. If we get a purple green, right? We had a purple on the green candle, that's a buy, not a sell. Then I'd have to actually use the lows over here against myself. Let's just give it a shot. What the fuck? Hang on. Now it kind of ruins the setup. It's only a great setup if the candle is green. If the candle is red, it's not a trade, but it actually is green. All right, let's go. Let's see if I'm right. I bought the dip. This is the retrace candle. And is this going to be the one case where it's going to just blow through me, or am I going to get the pop? This is do I get the pop on this thing? Let's see. Do I get the pop? I get the pop. See what I mean? So that's not a bad trade. That's a pretty decent trade. The purple on green, the same as, you actually I could have also done the white on red, because if you went short here, it went all the way down, you would have made money. It's a good retrace trade, right? It's definitely much better on the upside. I love buying the dip in an uptrend because markets are always much more of an uptrend trade. And you could have actually had a great result here, but it worked good enough for a scalp. And yet another pickpocket out my way. Johnny, no multi-time frames. What time frames are for pussies? It's just a 2-minute time frame. That's all. What do I give a shit what the hourly is? By the way, sorry, I should say this, guys. If you want me to show this to you, actually, I show this in. I might as well showcase this to you guys right now. But if you come to me with Asia, this is one thing that you guys will like. So this is something that Kathy created. Let me put it on here. And if you want to look at the multi time frames, I don't look at it because I don't really need it. But this is, a lot of people find this very useful, and I do put it up on Asia because it shows. So this is 8, 21, 50, 100, 200. You can see 5 minutes, it's all ugly. 50 minutes is all ugly. You're basically negative, negative bearish. Only on the longer term charts is a positive. So if you want to get this, you'll get the opportunity to get this tomorrow. in the masterclass, but you can also get it in Asia from me. Oh, we got a trade. Let's watch this. So let me showcase the R value here, right? Remember I said pull away trade. This is probably going to be a 3 or 4 R, right? If it's a 3 or 4 R, because what it's going to calculate. If I enter here and I put a stop here, ooh, it's an 8 R. Jesus, it's a big fucking R. Oh, I didn't realize this. Look at this and see, like your eyes will lie to you, right? I was like, oh, it's a 3-4 R. Maybe I should take it. It's a big ass R. That's an 8-9 R. Do you really want to take that right now? Probably not. Probably not. I'll just have to wait more patiently until I get a little bit of a 7-9 R, 9 R. It's a big ass fucking R. It's a lot of risk. A little too much. I'm happy at like 5, maybe 6 on a very, very small size, but this is a lot of R, right? That I gotta absorb, and it keeps getting bigger. Is it gonna work? Probably. Is it worth it? No. That's the second question. That's really the second question that you want to answer yourself. You know, that's the question you always forget as a trader. Is it worth it? You know, and that's the key thing. But it's very cool, right? I mean, you got to admit, this is a really, really cool little feedback loop that tells you really what you need to know. Now, if you're a swing trader and you're like, you know, your target is 40 points upward, this is a great trade. You take this trade, you know, you're like maybe 1-to-1 R, you may, or even 1-to-2 R. You know, your stop over here, or if you say I'm going to be the trader that trades against this low, right? And my R is going to be 100. Then you're in the right position. But in this situation, no. Oh, you guys are not seeing anything? Oh my God. I just realized you guys are not seeing anything. Why is nobody seeing anything? Are you guys seeing? Oh, you finally. I did this whole riff about the R. That this R was like coming in on this candle. Did you guys see this? Did I screw this up? Coming in this candle with this stop was huge. Even though it would have worked, it was like an 8-9 R risk. That's what I was trying to show you. And that's what sucked. Okay. But now look at this. Now it's a 6 R. That's not a horrible, horrible trade here if this kind of holds. So let's go back to wealth charts. I'll keep narrating this on the thing, and we'll see. You know, let's see if it's worthwhile for us to take this trade. What's the R on the gold trade? It depends. You know, again, if I'm trading for a $2 target, you know, you input what your target is, and then it calculates the R for you, right? So in this particular case, I'm only staying on NASDAQ because I really don't want to switch between NASDAQ and gold. It's very, very annoying. You know, notice how like when we stayed at NASDAQ for the last 25 minutes, every trade was a winner. Once you start switching around, it's just guaranteed fuck up situation. You know, I'm happy to trade gold in Asia, but I don't really want to trade it right now. Anyways, what was the point I was making? I totally lost my train of thought. Oh, so somebody was asking me again. You know, again, purple on green. You see, this was a purple dot that was flashing, and it's a green table, a green candle. What does this mean? This means you're selling to the moving average without breaking the moving average. So it's actually a bargain trade. It may be a great place to pick it up. Once it turns red, all bets are off. Now it's starting to lose its momentum. But if this kind of comes back and holds its green status, it's worth a buy. Just like we bought it over here, and that was a nice clean buy that we did. $57 seconds left. Let's see if it wants to, you know, where it wants to land. Remember, it's still pretty much a down market, right? The EMA meter showed that it was pretty much a down market. Yep. And it's just, it's really, really crushing it. And that's why this is a good trade and this is a bad trade. Okay, now it gets interesting. So now what are we doing here as you're looking at this? The cool thing about looking at the charts from our perspective is, there's always an opportunity. You just have to change your perspective, right? Okay, there was the momentum opportunity went away. It was too much. It was too risky and too wild. By the way, remember, this is what I was trying to show you. Let me show you what I was saying. Did this go 5 points forward? Yes, it did. Could it have missed? Yes, it could have. How much would we have lost if it missed? We would have lost close to 70, 50, 60 points, which would have been a massive R against us, right? But anyways, what I was saying now is, as we're looking, what's really happening? Are we holding bid here? Is this, is it going to try to hold support, or do we have some continuity trade? Even if we have a continuity trade, this is a very big R, because you gotta hold your stop against this one, and that's a massive R that you wouldn't take. But if this is a continuity trade, we have a low, we have a low. If we have a little bit higher low, we might be willing to scalp this to the upside, right? We'll see. I went into my John Madden mode today, right? I don't think I've annotated the charts more and more badly. I'm truly John Madden. Like, you remember how he used to squiggle on the screen and you couldn't understand any of his fucking squiggles, but he was so excited, and he was absolutely right in whatever he was analyzing. I'm kind of in my John Madden mode today. That's for everybody who's a European who doesn't understand that reference. John Madden was this great coach of American football. He was like 300 pounds of blubber and excitement, and but a very brilliant tactical mind. And then he went on to become a commentator, great commentator. And he would always squiggle on the screen trying to explain to the layman exactly what was going on. So yeah, everybody who's of that certain era gets my reference points. Again, so this R, just telling you off screen, this is a 14R trade, right? Again, is it a signal? Yes. Is it worth taking it? No. It's a 14R trade because you're holding it against this massive candle behind you, right? It's a lot of risk to hold. And as a matter of fact, it goes right up your ass, right? Even if you sold it, it goes right up your ass. So your best case here is, you try to resolve it and see if it comes back down. But what's much more likely, and it does, you did resolve it, if you held your stop against the high over here. I mean, you could do that. You could say to yourself, you know what, I'm going to hold a much tighter stop. But that's really, in this volatility environment, how pissed off would you be? It takes out the high over here, comes right back down. Like, it's just a unnecessary stop, unnecessary trade in this kind of situation. But I was going to say, what's happening now is, I think this is a white dot against this white dot. And that's actually a pretty legitimate trade. It's a 5R trade. And it's worth for us to take it if this white dot holds. Let me paint the picture for you. It's this white dot against this white dot. It's a higher dot. And as long as it's holding, we'll trade it. How much time we have? 44 seconds. We'll see. Everybody loves John Madden. All right, this is getting into the 6R. Okay, 6R, I'm still going to live with it because it's a lot of volatility. Now it's coming down to 4R. Anywhere, if I can buy it over here, that's going to be a relatively decent entry. But the problem is I have to be patient enough to make sure that this white dot holds. I don't want to be faked out into a dip on the white dot. I got 12 seconds, 13 seconds, at around 5 seconds. Oh, look, see, the white dot goes away. That's why I didn't want to be faked out. Now I'm going to have to hold to the close and see if the white dot holds. Nope, the white dot does not hold. Now, this is a very, very on the border trade. Could I have gone long this trade? Yes, it probably would have worked, but it just, you know, it didn't, you know, the white dot disappeared. It just dipped below. Like this would have worked. I've seen, you know, these trades work themselves out, but again, it's not a signal. So I gave back. I didn't pull the trigger. That's fine, because, you know, it's in the next 2 or 3 candles, there may be another white dot going on, or this is not really as strong a, what you want obviously is you wanted a signal that if you got a white dot, it just soared to the upside, and it didn't, you know, and we're kind of like just still consolidating. So let's wait for a true white dot to appear to see if we can make another trade. And now we're getting a purple pull away trade, which if it holds, not a bad trade. It's a 5.5, 6 R trade. It's within the extreme bounds of our parameters. Maybe worth a shot. Let's see. It's a lot better to trade this way, right? Where you're looking at both the signal and the risk as the key components of, you know, whether you want to pull the trigger or not. "19 seconds left. Let's see if it presses the lows. All right, short. I'm short against this. Position is 83, goes up. Ooh, well, it doesn't go up a lot. I want to go to like 87 on the offer. Actually, you know what? Hang on. I want to come back down to the offer and go back up to 87. And I think I got done, right? I wasn't even looking. I was trying to putz around with my sell offer, and I got done. And that was a very clean, you know, I really held my, you know, my ground here. Who made bank with me right now? Who banked out on this trade? But you know, you had to take 5, right? If you want to, if you went for the bank vault, you got yourself killed, right? It was 84 to 75. Anybody clip the 5? Dave, Yubi. I love how like the people who are making money don't talk at all. They just like, they only pop up on the feed when I ask them if you guys banked. The silent but deadly majority here that's banking money is really nice to see that. Good job, Nate. Good job, Yubi. Good job, Claudio. Come by. DRD, I know you always make it. Stayed in too long. Neil. The single principle of our trade, or the way we trade, is we pickpocket the market, right? In order to pickpocket something, you got to be in and out before the guy even realizes his wallet is gone, right? That's what we mean. Oh, we're getting a white dot here. That's a big ass trade, though. Let me see how much of a risk on that white. Let me see what the risk on that white dot was. So that's why you don't stay too long, right? I used yesterday the movie Point Break as a teaching lesson, which is a great movie. We all love the movie, right? So in Point Break, they always rob the bank, and they're always successful. And why? Because they never go for the bank vault, right? They're never greedy. But then they need this one last job in order to accomplish whatever the fuck they need to accomplish with their stupid surfing, because it's obviously a plot device. But they break their own rule and they go for the bank vault, and they all get called. I forget if they all get killed. I already forgot the movie. But the point is, we don't go by the bank vault. We go for that 5 points, because we know that if we stay in the game even a second longer, the game can flip on us. So that's just, you know, that's just the only point that, you know, you want to make. But don't worry. You know, it may be also, Neil, I was going to say to you, it may be that your personality is to trade much longer, bigger time, time slots. At which point, your risk and reward should be much. If you make your reward 50 points, you could hang in this trade all the way against this big candle, right? You could just see, oh, are they going to press it all the way down? My point is that you can do anything you want as long as you understand how to play the game properly. I'm just playing the game one way, the only way that it's comfortable to my personality. But it's by no means the only way to trade it. So we're holding bid here, guys. We're gonna get some white dots. We're gonna have a counter trend move here. Let's see. We basically, what the market has done is it held the lows at this 25,560 for a little bit. We're gonna get a fresh selling wave. Nobody knows. But if we get a white dot here, that's tradable because it's going to be against this lower white dot, and it's going to be a relatively reasonable risk because it's going to be probably against this candle here. So it won't be too bad. In the meantime, I think I made like 10 winning trades here today, guys. I think I clipped them all, right? I mean, look at the, let's look at the history. Look at this, badooms. It looks like the same Valentine's Day massacre. You can't even tell. But these are all, we bought them all, we sold them all, we sold them all, we bought them all. It all worked. It all really, really worked. Right? Sold them over here. It all worked. Where's history? History off. Okay. Neil, where are you from? Who is here not from America? Besides Andy. I mean, I know Andy's not from America, but who's in the room right now that's not American? Say hi to me. Okay, so a few things before UK. Oh, Ken, of course, Ken. Alan, where are you from? Adbox, tell me you're from. Oh, you're living in Europe from Egypt. Nice place to be, Peter. Good for you. Sydney, nice. I'm going to be in Melbourne next week, guys. So the other thing is, yeah, next week, Pakistan, right, Adbox. Next week, Monday trade, but then the rest of the week, there'll be no trading. There'll be no trading. What's going on over here? Because I'll be in Melbourne. But yeah, I'll be back next week. Switzerland, originally from Canada and Ontario. Really, Peter? You went from like one boring country to another boring country? No, I'm just kidding you. Good for you. Miguel. You don't have to tell me where you're from. Miguel is like one of the oldest traders I trade with. I really miss not coming to Madrid for so many years, Miguel. Love to see you again. All right, we're gonna see if this is gonna be our last scalp of the day. If we can get it, we get a white dot. Looks like we can't. Looks like we're just kind of holding bid here. Market's consolidating. We'll have to see what the ranges are. And then Mihail from Bulgaria and Toronto. Very nice. Yeah, that was fun. That was so much fun. I still have your cooking book, your recipe book. One of these days, I'm actually going to start making some recipes. It's really funny. I used to love to cook, but then I got distracted, and then just business is really just incredibly intense these days. So I kind of I used to cook for my older son, who's much older now, when he was in high school, and now my younger daughter, is about to enter high school, and the only thing I cook is steak for the dogs, right? but I like the dogs are so spoiled. I cook them steak literally every day, or like every other day, and they they have steak with their meal because they're just spoiled little dogs. They won't eat anything unless you give them steak with. But the funny thing is like my daughter loves it, loves the way I make the steak. So she's always going, "Can I have some dog steak, Daddy?" So the only time I feed my children is when I cook for my dogs. All right, we got a white dot, guys. Let me tell you what the R's are on this if it holds. It goes away. But that is like, that's how you know this is your third child. When you cook for the dogs, not for the child. Okay, it's a 3R, 3-7R. It's not a bad R if it holds. Hi, Kashifali. Nice to have you. Anybody new in the room? Say hi to me. Love to have you hang out with us. Do I trade futures only? Fuck yes. I trade futures only. No, I actually trade CFDs, Kashifali. If you come join me in Asia, we have a great new CFD partner with Think Markets. I absolutely love I absolutely love the platform. It's really, really cool. All right, this thing now is getting to 5R. It's a lot, but it's worth a shot. Oh shit! Now it's getting to 6.5R. Fuck me. It's really blowing up. All right, this is. Am I going to violate my own rules here? 7R now. It's really huge explosion. Really huge explosion. This is the problem. The market, you sense the turn. Well, now it's coming down a little bit. If it comes down to just a little bit here, if it doesn't end on the highs, it'll be worth a trade for us because we're still within the 6Rs. All right, let's let it breathe. Let it breathe. 6, 7, come down. This is within the R parameters. 3, 2, 1, boom. All right, I'm long here, and it's done. Look how beautiful that was. It came within the R territory. I took the trade, super easy, right? Now, if I was an idiot and I bought the top, no knowledge if I was going to do it, and if I was not going to do it, if it was going to stop me out, there's going to be a massive, massive loss. No, coaching is going to be tomorrow, but not. Yeah, coaching next week is going to be canceled. No coaching from Australia. So next week is going to be just quiet. But then I'll be back. Also, honestly, actually, coaching is going to be canceled for 2 weeks because the week after that is Thanksgiving. So we'll try to make it up, when we come back from Thanksgiving. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas is a really, really good time to kind of, take stock of everything, and we'll have a lot of good stuff to talk about. But yes, I will. This is all the more reason to come into tomorrow's night coaching. And if you want to join me for coaching, if you want to get this indicator, which you can only get if you're going to be in coaching, there guys in the room right now, and girls and ladies, who are members but not coaching members. Identify yourself now, because I want to talk to you, right? If you, yeah, time flies. I know. That was a lot of fun, right? I mean, like we just literally every single trade we did today. Like, look how good it was at keeping me in discipline, right? No fuck ups. It was a NFUP day. NFU day. Adbots, are you? But you're a member. Okay, so here's what I want to tell to everybody who's a member who's not a coaching member. You can't get the dots unless you're coaching, right? So I make this offer to anybody who's a member. I will refund you all your membership fees. Come to coaching. You're going to get literally 6 months instead of price of one, and then I will also, of course, give you credit to go to either buy Think or to buy Apex. You can buy either one of the accounts with a credit, and you're going to get huge discounts. So it's like a triple discount offer because I want you in coaching, and it's the only way you're going to get the indicator, anyways. And of course, with the R in the indicator, it's going to become even that much more valuable. Because look how, I mean, I'm trading basically with R all day long. You guys are not seeing it because it's off screen. I showed it to you a couple of times, but look how good it was at keeping me alive and keeping me in the game. Hitting all my trades. I mean, it made a huge difference, right? Anyways, all right, guys. I got to run. Got a huge day today with all the other stuff. I'll see everybody in Asia. We're definitely going to trade Asia, I think. We're going to trade gold then probably because that's going to be a good opportunity. When is the next update for? Well, first we got to update TradingView, right? So I have an updated TradingView because this is the latest update for wealth charts. The one that you're seeing, the TradingView and wealth charts are all the same now. They're equal. But I'm actually going to get rid of a lot of stuff that I think is fluff in the indicator and just really refine the indicator to its core essence. You know. What's the one thing you know for sure when you're trading with me that I'm never done with the indicator? Oh, do you guys hear me? What's going on over here? Did you guys hear everything I said? I don't know why the screens and everything not coming up. What the Yes? Okay. Yes, that's correct. No, it's not change, Ben. Ben, let's use proper marketing. The thing that's for sure. Where's Ben? Where's Ben's comment? Is that it will improve. The thing that we know for sure is that it will improve, right? Let's use the right marketing. The one thing you know about my indicators is it's going to improve. Yes, it updates inside TradingView. Yes, it's super easy. You just, if you can't get the update, you just delete it and you put it back on. And even if that doesn't work, you log out of TradingView, log back in, and then put it back on, and then for sure it works. Okay, so it's all good. All right, sorry. You guys are not seeing. I don't know why the screen disappears. What the fuck is going on over here? All right, whatever. I got to run, guys. I'll see everybody tonight. Thank you so much. A great day of trading. All right, everybody enjoy. Bye-bye.